We have already seen one team advance to the Eastern Conference Championships, and we are about to see another one as we welcome you back to Statesboro, Georgia at Eric Russell Park for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Championships, the semifinal matchup featuring the Charlotte Eagles versus the Seacoast United Phantoms. Hello, everyone. Daniel Wall, joined by the head coach of Tormenta FC, John Mullaracey. John, we've already seen one great matchup so far between the Myrtle Beach Mutiny and the Long Island Rough Riders. Long Island getting the win 2-0. What do you expect to see from Charlotte and Seacoast here tonight?
I think the game's sort of very slow in the first match because of the temperatures. It's cooled off a little bit, so I expect this game to be a little more end-to-end from the beginning. I expect for Charlotte to use their athleticism and speed. They have a tremendous amount of pace in their front line, and I think they're going to be happy to sit deep and then look to hit them on the break. Seacoast is a team that likes to build out of the back and play attractive soccer, so I think we're in for a very interesting matchup.
Well, you said it. Both teams have the advantage of playing the late game as the sun is down and temperatures have cooling off here from the first matchup that started at 6 o'clock p.m. The heat index was at 103 degrees at start time, but both of these teams don't have to worry about that as the sun is gone. Temperatures now about 88 degrees here on this Saturday night in Statesboro.
Yeah, the heat's gone down, but the humidity is still up, and I think that's what you contend here with a lot. And even in our late matches here, even though the sun isn't in your face too much, the humidity definitely is a part of the game. So we'll see how these teams survive it.
Absolutely. 66% humidity, so it feels like it's 98 degrees down there on the field. And whether it's very hot or very cold, you can't get rid of the gnats either in Statesboro.
That's why you got to run fast.
So it'll be interesting to see what both of these teams will do. Let's look at the Charlotte Eagles. They went 9-3-2 and finished second in the South Atlantic Division. This is their third year in the PDL. They have won the South Atlantic Division in their first 2 years. They finished second this year, but they have a chance to be the only team in the South Atlantic Division that could be in the Eastern Conference Finals, with the Myrtle Beach Mutiny being eliminated earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, expect good things from them. Dave Dixon's a very experienced coach. He was the assistant for the Charlotte Eagles when they were USL. He attracts a lot of good talent. 2 guys got drafted from the Charlotte Eagles last year. They've got a great team chemistry and culture, and I expect to be very impressed by them this evening.
And the Seacoast United Phantoms from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, over 1,000 miles away. They had to drive 2 hours to Boston to fly to Savannah. It would have been a 16 to 17-hour drive if they would have made the drive down here. They went 11-1-2 this season. They finished first in the Northeast Division. And they also had a playing game back on Tuesday. They won 3-1 over Reading AC in the playing game.
That's a big win. Reading is a standard bearer for a lot of PDL teams. They routinely have 5 or 6 guys drafted each year after their season into the MLS and USL. So that was a big win for them, and I expect big things from them this evening. From what I understand, if you watch them, you'll see the 2 center backs sit very deep, but their wing backs almost pinch in. Look at them right now. They almost stay in this kind of odd box. And I think what you're going to look to see is Charlotte to look to get behind that with their pace and concede a little bit of ground and then hit them on the break.
So Seacoast United playing more recent than Charlotte. Played on Tuesday. So they had a couple of days rest rather than Charlotte, who've had the entire week. Both Seacoast United and the Long Island Rough Riders were both in playing games, taking out both teams in the Mid-Atlantic Division of the New York Red Bulls U23 team and Reading United. So we could potentially see tomorrow a in-division matchup in the finals.
That'd be interesting. That's not what you want, but credit to both teams if they make it. You don't want to see a similar opponent in the final. You just know too much about each other.
Well, they will have to get past the Charlotte Eagles, who pretty much had an uphill battle to make the playoffs. They started out great, winning their first 3 games of the year. Had a bit of a slow bump in the middle of the season, and then it was down between Charlotte, Nashville, and John, your Tormenta FC squad to make that final playoff seed.
Yep.
And Charlotte won the final 3 games of the season. 2 of those wins came against North Carolina FC U23 team and the Carolina Dynamo.
Well, they did a great job. We were all chasing them. We needed them to drop points so we could make it very interesting in our last game here in Statesboro last Saturday night. But credit to them. Dave Dixon's a very good coach. He was able to get 3 wins in a row and against very difficult opponents. And he said earlier they slipped in, but I think they put together a very strong season in one of the toughest divisions in the country. Wish we could be here tonight, but I think they're going to represent our division well.
Well, here goes the goal kick from the Eagles. As Charlotte trying to advance down the field, and they're going to have a good advantage. Could be one of the best goalkeepers in this Final Four in James Pyle. Pyle has done wonders for Charlotte this year. He is second in save percentages with 88%. 36 saves, only allowed 5 goals in 7 games, and he was phenomenal when he played at University of North Carolina last year. In his 21 games there, he had 46 saves and only allowed 10 goals.
Yeah, he's done very well for them, and if you're going to put together a good season, you need good goalkeeping. And if you watched our last half of the season, our goalkeeper did quite well. Matt made some big saves, had a lot of shutouts, and it was a big reason we went on the run we did.
He switched midway through from Keegan Meyer to Matt Rosenberg. Here's Charlotte on the shot, trying to get an early lead.
Here's what you'd like to see. We've got two teams that are pushing the game right away. Totally different start than the first game, which that game looked like it was getting played underwater at times. But this is both teams have come out to play. This is going to be fun to watch.
Well, Charlotte is also a very young team, just one overage player on the team. Last year they had 5. So
look for in Charlotte number 8. He's a very, very good player. Ryan Williams comes out of John Brown University, coached by Scott Marksberry, a good friend of mine, and that's a former program that I coached at not too long ago. And it's good to see a good contingent of players from that university out here. But definitely look for him to pull strings, get in pockets, be a leader on the field, as he's the captain as well. He's a great player, tremendous young man. I expect big things from him tonight.
And also you have to look out for João Acosta for the Eagles. He is 4th in the PDL in goals with 11 this season off of 39 shots, as Seacoast is going to take possession here. Seacoast has been in the PDL for 10 years now, as the shot is headed away by Charlotte.
Seacoast, similar to Tormenta FC, they have a youth academy connected with them. And I believe they have one of their standout players from the academy playing, or at least traveling with them this evening, which is great to see. You want the development model to be just that your top club players get a chance to play with older, more experienced players. And that's what we hope to do at Tormenta FC as well.
Audie Jepson on the first corner kick for Seacoast United. Goes in the air, blocked by Pyle, and he's able to make the save. Great deflection and use of hands from the goalkeeper, James Pyle.
In the first game tonight, I said the first goal was going to be crucial. I think it is for this game as well. But the way this game has started, it looks like there's going to be more than one goal in this game.
Well, in the first game earlier, a little bit of a different pace of play to start in the first half. It was very conservative, both teams feeling each other out, almost like a chess match. Then in the second half, Long Island became more aggressive through a majority of that half, was able to get the first goal off of a penalty kick in the 65th minute, that coming from Arthur Basua. And then the icing on the cake in the stoppage time, a go-ahead goal by Junior Rosero to put the Rough Riders ahead 2-0 and to advance them into the Eastern Conference Championships tomorrow night.
I think it was a very well-coached game by Long Island. I think what he did was to concede a lot of pressure, but not concede a goal. And they got to halftime 0-0. Got a little bit of help from a post, but came out, pushed the game, created chances, got a penalty, got a breakaway goal, and definitely deserved to be in the final with the performance they put in the second half.
And a great performance and a great year overall by the Myrtle Beach Mutiny. Even though they didn't come out successful with the win, they did have a great first season in the PDL, going 10-1-3 in the regular season. They had a couple of close looks in the first half. We talked about that goal, or the shot that deflected off of the right side of the goalpost. That would have been the first goal of the game between either team. but it ended up going 0-0 at halftime. It was also very aggressive, a lot of fouls being officiated in the game as well. A couple of yellow cards drawn out too.
Yeah, it got a little chippy at times. Some heavy legs in that heat. But looks like the spirit of this game is going to be a little different. Just look at the off-ball movement of the players in this half compared to the first game. It's going to be a good one to watch.
And for Seacoast, this is the first season for head coach Ali Bain. He came from GPS Portland Phoenix. He was actually part of the group that formed GPS and was the general manager and head coach from its inception in 2010 to just last year in 2016, now making the transition over to Seacoast United. He wants to bring that success with him. He was able to win 3 Northeastern Division championships, and last year they lost in the playing game to the Ocean City Nor'easters, 3-1.
Yeah, very experienced coach. If you look at what they're doing tactically, it's pretty interesting, and I think it's part of the reason they've been so successful.
And talking with one of the coaches from Seacoast about their win in the playing game over Reading United, they said that it took them by surprise how soon they were able to attack early in the game. They scored all 3 of their goals within the first 25 minutes of the matchup.
That's especially in a big game like that. You score 3 goals your first 25 minutes. That's a dream start.
They were able to hold on throughout the rest of the matchup. They were able to score off of set pieces early on in the flow of the game, was able to catch them in transition. Seacoast.
Looks like Seacoast is going to use their big number 9 up top to play through. Looks like he's got some pace too. Got to see him off the pitch a little bit last night, enjoying himself at the clubhouse. Seems like he has a great personality, lots of energy, so he's going to be fun to watch.
Yes, as well as you want all 4 teams to compete on the field. You saw them compete in the clubhouse yesterday, a bit of a welcoming party as we have a foul called here early on. You had all 4 teams of a welcoming party at the clubhouse. Darren Van Tassel, the owner of the clubhouse, and of Tormenta FC, had a great welcoming party, bringing in those 4 teams. Let's take a look at the replay here of the collision.
A little push in the back there, a little too aggressive. But he sold it well. Could have been a play on and maybe a chance there.
So it'll be an opportunity for Seacoast to take an early lead. This is Connor Alba setting up for the kick.
As I said in the first game, restarts always play a big role in playoff games. So if they can get an early restart goal, they've got a height advantage. If you look here over the Eagles, they need to capitalize on this frequently today.
Here's the kick kind of bending in. Pyle puts a hand on it.
Looks like it was already out, I think. Again, that's why I'm not a ref.
And for those who are tuning in, Charlotte in the orange, with Seacoast United in the light blue, I want to say Tar Heel blue, and the white mixed. James Pyle wearing black. And for Seacoast, Thor Hoffs, the goalkeeper, wearing red. Another corner kick for Seacoast and a foul. Whistle will be blown and it will go the other way for Charlotte.
Well, both teams have done well here to create a few chances. Really half chances, getting the other team's half, but they're still kind of probing each other here, being patient. Both teams look to want to keep the ball. I expected Charlotte to play a little bit more direct at times, but they've done a good job of keeping it on the floor and trying to create. Look for Charlotte to hit them on the break. I think if they can counter, you'll see a lot of pace in this Charlotte team, and that can really cause Seacoast some fits.
Both teams scored a lot of goals this season. Charlotte with 30 and Seacoast with 44. A fun matchup between the two, as the winner will face the Long Island Rough Riders tomorrow. Pyle goes up to the grab. lot of fans piling in for the second matchup here at Ert Russell Park in Statesboro, Georgia.
That they avoided the temperatures of the first game.
Well, Seacoast would have been ready for the temperatures if they had the play in the first game this afternoon at 6 o'clock. I was talking with one of the coaches about how they prepared for the Statesboro Heat and the Nats. They actually went out and looked for a swamp in New Hampshire to try and replicate the Nats that they have in Statesboro. None of the guys on Seacoast's team is used to the heat, and they have some kids from the UK who is not used to the heat at all. They have one player on their team that will be enrolling into Coastal Carolina in the fall in a couple of weeks. But before that, he has not been down here in the South. So he gets a little bit of a preview before he gets to play for the Chanticleers.
It's not that bad. I think once the game kicks off, adrenaline kicks in, and it's not that much of a notice. But I tell you, sitting on the sideline with the Nets, that's when you notice it.
Even we're down there in between games for the post-game show on Facebook Live. You had the Nats swarming all around down on the field. Opportunity for Seacoast. Alba tries to go up, and Pyle kicks it away. And mainly Seacoast for this game inside the 18, and Pyle comes up again.
Looks like Charlotte may struggle a little bit with some matchups in terms of height. Their back line comparing, looks like they just have a bit of a height advantage. So any kind of throw in, long restart, corner kick, look for Seacoast to try to take advantage of that. But again, Charlotte may lull you asleep a little bit. See they're sitting deep a little bit. But if they break, they're incredibly dangerous. And that can happen in a flash. We'll see a few of those moments.
Well, it's been all Seacoast in the opening 15 minutes of this matchup, trying to find some looks. James Pyle has done a great job protecting the net.
Number 22, Hazley Pyle, in a small world connection. His older brother, Randell, played for me at John Brown, was my center back, one of the fastest players I've ever coached in my life. So, Randell, you're listening, thinking about you. Hope you're doing well.
It's like the ball will stay with Seacoast. They watched some tape of Charlotte getting ready for this game. They said they have great players. They don't really see them changing their game plan at all, but they expect to try and play and build the game from the back like they have been all season long. They want to also be smart in transitions and set pieces.
Well, I think when you get to this stage of the season, you trust your players. You don't want to get away from what got you here. And I think really it's just training big moments in a game, a few tactical mismatches that you may see in your opponent, but you don't want to throw everything out and start over. You want to stick to what you do well, put your imprint on the game and make them beat you, and not you changing everything to try to beat them.
Charlotte trying to go downfield, but they haven't really had a chance to here in this game. Seacoast has had opportunity after opportunity, and now Charlotte may have a look. Good steal, trying to get a look inside the 18. There's a shot, but it goes over the goalpost.
I believe that was Joe Costa, is that correct?
We'll have another look at it on the replay here in just a moment to see what transpired. Here's another look. Good pass.
Just didn't get his chest over the ball.
That
Had a little too much time to think about it.
That did look like João Acosta on the shot.
Here's a quick break here. Uh-oh, misclear. Now the question is, can these teams sustain this for 90 minutes in this humidity?
Yeah.
Because they've come out flying. You just wonder which team is going to start fading out first.
Absolutely. A different start in this game compared to the first game. It was more of a chess match in the opening minutes in the first half between Long Island and Myrtle Beach. But between Seacoast and Charlotte so far, you see both teams getting at it, trying to find opportunities to score, being aggressive on offense. More so from Seacoast rather than Charlotte. They haven't had as many looks. The Seacoast has had better ball control.
Yeah, they've had a lot of the ball, and that's their game plan. They want to build out of the back. They're fine playing east-west sometimes. They're okay getting in behind every now and then, but they're a well-balanced team. They got some guys that can run. They got some guys that can get in gaps. They got good size up top. This is good play for them. Look at this.
Here's a look inside. Trying to go around, and Pyle able to cover it. A shot by Seacoast's Garrett Lyle, I'm sorry. Talking to Seacoast's coach earlier, said that they have a good group of blue-collar players that can score.
Speaking of,
there's a shot, and Pyle with another save. You're really seeing a lot of James Pyle early on in the first half, folks.
Well, that's what you want. It's the keeper's getting tested, and he's got to come up big. So it just, even though Seacoast may be getting some confidence from some early chances, it just gives Charlotte more confidence to know that they got to keep it like that to keep him in it.
That's probably the farthest shot we've seen so far today. Now on the other end, Charlotte trying to get a look. It's kicked away. Kelvin Amondi trying to set things up for his team.
This is good from Charlotte here. They've been under a little bit of pressure. Probably want to slow the game down, get on the ball, not rush it.
Here's Amondi again, has an opening. He may take the shot, trying to go inside, and he collides with a Seacoast defender. That is Connor Alba.
Looks like Charlotte's come out with a back three. That very quickly becomes a back five in defense. And that's clearly something they've changed because they saw something in Seacoast that they felt like they can exploit, or something that was too dangerous to let slip. So they've got three backs hanging back there. They're pushing the number three, and then Pyle real high, wide on the right. They give them, if you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against that back line. They like their chances if they can get a ball in behind.
So Charlotte now trying to advance up midfield. Trying to go on the far side, and that will go out, but will remain here with the Eagles. For those who are just tuning in, the second semifinal matchup here at Russell Park in Statesboro, Georgia. Daniel Wall and head coach for Tormenta FC, John Millerisi, providing the action for you. The 22nd minute underway between the Charlotte Eagles and the Seacoast United Phantoms. The winner will meet the Long Island Rough Riders, who defeated the Myrtle Beach Mutiny 2-0 in the first game this evening. Will face off tomorrow night in the championship game at 8 p.m. So now you see Charlotte getting more into their offense.
The more you can get their number 8, Ryan, involved in the game, the better they're going to play. So they need to get him involved quick, similar to Ricardo from Myrtle Beach in the last game.
Ryan Williams leads the team in assists this season. He has 4, also 4 goals on 12 shots. Williams from Milani, Hawaii, and went to college at John Brown University. In 19 games there last season, he had 8 goals and 10 assists, so he will be a guy to look to for the Eagles, and for Seacoast, a guy to defend heavily in this game. So now the Phantoms trying to regain control.
John Brown just had a coaching change. Scott Marksbury stepped down after 4 or 5 years at the helm and being very successful after I left. And new coach coming in, Brenton Benware. He's inheriting a lot of these guys from the Charlotte Eagles. So if he's watching, he needs to be very excited about his chances this year in the fall.
There's a numerous amount of players on the Charlotte Eagles roster from John Brown University. Also a couple from Lindsey Wilson College, St. Bonaventure, Wake Forest University, University of North Carolina, and Gardner-Webb.
Dave always does a great job of mixing. That's a good ball.
Here's a look, good block by Thor Hoffs. Charlotte trying to go back in on the attack. And that will roll out of play, and the officials will say it will go to the Phantoms.
As I was saying, Dave Dixon does a great job of finding players from all kinds of programs. They're a faith-based organization, so culture and chemistry and fit for the organization is very important. So he's done a great job to find players that fit the culture and also can perform. And this is his third year in the playoffs in a row.
Very faith-based oriented. The Eagles play all their home games at Charlotte Christian School in Charlotte, North Carolina. Fun fact, the high school where the two-time MVP Steph Curry attended high school, along with his brother Seth. Here's another look for Charlotte, but Seacoast able to get it out of harm's way.
This is what you want. You want Ryan higher up the field, pulling strings, getting balls into dangerous areas.
Here's another chance headed away by Seacoast. And you always have to have an advantage when your team is located in one of the biggest cities in the state, like the Charlotte Eagles in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're able to recruit a lot of players. As a member of Seacoast goes down, then a yellow card is going to be officiated, our first in this game.
Yeah, you would think so. You would think us being from Atlanta or closer to Atlanta, we would draw a lot from Atlanta, which we have a handful, but talent is everywhere. And you need to find not just talent, but winning qualities. That's the key to winning championships. Is that there are some PDL teams in our division that had plenty of talent, but they just didn't quite have the mentality or the chemistry to pull it off. And we struggled with that in our first month until we found our way. So again, finding play, not just assimilating talent. You got to build a team, and it's got to be quick.
There's the header, and it goes left.
You just don't have time. You may have 4 or 5 days before your first counted game. So you just don't get the extra 3-4 weeks to build chemistry. It's got to happen real fast. So attracting the right people is almost as important as attracting the right type of talent.
Absolutely. Bringing in those types of players early on into the season can be a little bit tough because the PDL season starts early in the month of May. The first game was on May 13th. And, for some players, they're just getting out of school. They got to finish up. They may have summer classes. They may go home for a while. So it takes some time before the team is able to fully develop until about midway through the year.
Right, and if you're in the Open Cup, which we hope to be next year, we'll play our first round match that first Wednesday. So we'll get our guys in maybe that Friday, Saturday if we're lucky, and we'll be playing a first round of the Open Cup on Wednesday. Doesn't leave a lot of time.
Wow. And that's one thing that you can kind of see at both of these teams. Yes, the season starts early, but as time goes, you see the chemistry pick up between both teams. And that's one thing Charlotte had a good thing doing over the season. They started off hot, had a bit of rough patch in the middle, but they were able to mature, and the chemistry was able to help them get back into the playoffs.
Well, I'm familiar with the organization, and again, I know Dave well. And I used to coach the Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors, which was a very similar organization. And really what they do a great job of is not just trying to extend the summer so they can win more games. They want to extend the summer so they can actually stay together more. They have such a tight chemistry, and they're doing so many amazing things in the community that it's more than soccer for them. And winning more games just gives them more time together. And when you have that kind of chemistry, it really shows up late in the season, which it did. They had to win 3 games in a row to get in, and they did, because if they slipped up with a tie or even 2 ties, we would have potentially jumped them and been here tonight instead of them. So it's just, again, a credit to the organization.
Speaking with head coach Dave Dixon earlier before this matchup, he said that the team has had more grit heading into the playoffs, and that happens over time. They didn't have much grit in the beginning of the season. He said that they were lucky to win some of their games early on, and in the middle of the year they had to figure it out, and they couldn't grind it out. But towards the end, they were able to find that grit, and it takes some time with a young team like Charlotte.
It does. Well, everybody has their growing pains, as we did in May. Dave may say it's luck that they won some games early, but sometimes we'd rather be lucky than good. And they were still able to get points even when they weren't playing well and clicking, and that's vital in the PDL, because if you don't get early points, it's a long haul in the back end.
Seacoast will have, I believe, another corner kick. They will try to set something up to score here. The last couple of minutes has been mainly Charlotte trying to create some offense.
Well, it's been a good seesaw battle. I think you'll see we had 10 minutes of Seacoast dominating the game, and then Charlotte just found their foothold in the game.
And one thing with Seacoast United, they don't want to win this just for Seacoast United, the team, but they want to win this for the state of New Hampshire.
Here's the break I'm talking about. This is where they're so dangerous.
Well, here's Charlotte right here on the chance. Here's a shot. Can he get it?
Oh,
going wide right, and he's just off. It was a good setup.
That's the moment. If you're Seacoast, you're quite nervous.
Wow, just off on the right. Looking for a foul, and that is Jao Acosta throwing his hands up, asking the referee, where's the call?
He maybe got his shirt pulled or something there. I don't think the ref saw enough to give a penalty because he had such a good look on goal.
He did. It looked like right when he kicked it and went right, that's where he may have gotten pulled. But he was right there in the danger zone. That's a couple more inches to the left.
Yep.
It would have been a 1-0 game.
All Charlotte needs is that kind of opportunity. And they're so dangerous. It's uncharacteristic of them. So we'll see here. We're right at 30 minutes in. This is when the drilling's kind of worn off and the fatigue can kind of set in. So we'll see how they finish out here.
Seacoast trying to go in. And Donnet Saki trying to find an opening. He was trying to find the ball so he can head it in, but could not find it. Now Charlotte on the offensive.
There's that break.
Let's see if Charlotte can attack here on the far side. There's a shot, but it goes over the goalpost. Those just tuning in, 2/3 of the way through in the first half between Charlotte and Seacoast United. Daniel Wall and head coach John Millerisi of Tormenta FC, and also the Georgia Southern Multimedia Development Center doing a great job filming this Eastern Conference Championships this weekend. It's also filming all the games for Tormenta FC this season.
As I said in the first game, they do a first-class job here. You know, when we go on the road and we talk to other organizations and even the families and fans that watch us when they can't make the games, they give such high praise to how you guys do this. So you're doing a great job. We really appreciate it.
It's getting to a point where now more and more teams are getting involved in the PDL. More and more teams are looking to find ways to get their games streamed online.
Well, it's important, especially if we're trying to, as a bridge league in the PDL, we're trying to move players on to the next level. And scouts can't be everywhere all the time. You know, I know when I'm scouting at times for teams in the PDL when I'm watching college games, you know, I can't get to every college game. I like to try to get to a lot in person, but if I can catch one on the fly here and catch another one from my laptop here while I'm about to go drive out and watch another one, then that's great. Also, with soccer being such an international sport, you know, we've got players from all over the world on this field. Their parents back at home are getting this kind of quality opportunity to watch their sons play, and that's important.
I have a player down for the Charlotte Eagles. That is Foster Apaya. He is still down, as you just saw the replay of the collision that happened down on the field. He's being checked out by one of the trainers. Apaya from Kumasi, Ghana, and played college ball at the University of Mobile. And he looks like he's getting his nose checked out. He may have gotten a hand or something to the face.
Yeah, maybe an elbow. They'll clean him up real quick, make sure he's not bleeding. And if he is, they'll stop it and get him right back out. He's an important player for them.
So it'll be a good bit of stoppage time at the end of regulation here in the first half, as fans watching on. The Long Island Rough Riders were in attendance for this game, and they look like they're heading out back to the hotel, going to get ready for tomorrow. They have about 24 hours to get ready for the championship game tomorrow night.
Yep, ice baths and pool recovery sessions. That's what you got to do.
That's the one good thing about staying at hotels. The majority of them have pools.
That's right.
You can go out there and have a good swim, have a good cool down.
Yep,
They're ready for tomorrow.
They're staying at one of our sponsors, Holiday Inn in Statesboro, and it's a fantastic place, and they have a good pool, and I'm sure they'll make good use of it this evening.
Well, Foster Apia able to get up on his own and walk back on his own 2 feet, holding his nose, so he may be further evaluated. He may have to come out for the rest of the half, and Charlotte may have to make an early substitution, or
Doesn't look like it.
No, it looks like he may just go back on the field here in a moment.
I think they got to get him to stop bleeding quickly and try to get him on as fast as possible. Maybe play down 10 men for a bit. Hopefully slip him on there quick.
It's been very aggressive, back and forth here in the first half. Both Seacoast United and Charlotte having some good looks, but seeing some great saves by the goalkeeper, James Pyle.
Yeah, he's come up big early. And it's allowed Charlotte to find their way in the game.
Amazing that Charlotte's just going to try and just
Yeah, they
hold
switch
on
quickly
defense.
back to 4 at the
Backline.
back here, and just they're going to try to hang on, playing with 9 field players at the minute until he can get the other back in the field. So right now it's just be patient.
It's not a bad move, the way we saw a very conservative pace of play in the first half of Myrtle Beach and Long Island.
Yep.
And now this is where they can attack. It's maybe another game where we won't see our first goal into the second half. Trying to go in. That one deflected off the back of the head of Seacoast. Whistle drawn. It's like Luke Greaves. No, that's Garrett Lyle. Colliding with Kelvin Amondi for the Charlotte Eagles. There's Thor Hoffs, the goalkeeper for Seacoast.
What a great name, by the way.
Thor Hoffs. Played 11 games for Seacoast this season, 66 saves, almost an 82% save percentage. And head coach,
Here they go.
here comes Charlotte.
Oh,
Almondi going for the shot, but rolls right into the hands of Hoffs.
So again, as I predicted, just watching these guys play a few times this year, they can keep the ball, they can defend well, but man, if they can go and hit you on the break, they're so dangerous. And their most dangerous chances have come from that.
Well, no matter how dangerous Charlotte is, you may see Hoff with the same facial settings, the same emotions. Talking with the coaches, they say he has that German calmness. And Hoff's also playing college soccer at George Washington University. And they look to Hoffs as one of the leaders on the back line. There's Seacoast on offense now, trying to get a look. Trying to break through defenders. No whistle blown.
Yeah.
Play will continue. A couple of Phantoms upset about the call, or the no call, I should say.
The referee must not have thought it was enough contact to call it. That may or may not have been a penalty.
We saw one of the impressive moments late in the first game where Long Island's Junior Rosero had a wide open look for a goal. The goalkeeper was out of the way, but an offsides call was called. But then he was able to get payback on the second time around.
Right. These games can change on a dime. You're up 1-0 looking for the second. Keeper makes his save, you counter, now you're up 2-0, and that's what makes these games so fun to watch.
Powell will come up for it. We encourage everyone watching to stick around for halftime as we'll have interviews with the GM of the Charlotte Eagles, Andrew Pierce, and also a member from Seacoast United's front office, Ashley McLaughlin. Also, Darren Van Tassel, owner of Tormenta FC, will have interviews with both coaches down on the field during halftime, so stick around for that. Seacoast trying to work it inside, and they get a chance. Here's the shot, goes wide right.
It's a great chance from Seacoast, just inches there.
Great patience, too, by Seacoast trying to set up that look, too. Here's the replay. Donette Saki.
Donette's doing a good job of checking off the center back of Charlotte and getting that little gap between their center mids and the number 4, their center back. And he drew him out and turned him and had a great look on goal. So he's getting isolated 1v1 on 4, and that's causing a lot of problems right now.
Now Charlotte will try to answer back. Thor Hoffs coming up, loses the ball, but Seacoast able to knock it out the way. Charlotte will have another chance.
What a tackle.
No whistle, they're going to keep it going.
This game's wide open. This is great. If you paid for admission, you're getting a good show, because I think these guys have come to score and not sit in and not hang on. They've come to push the game and get some early goals, and that's fantastic.
And for those who are watching live on YouTube, you're watching a great matchup between the two of Charlotte and Seacoast United. Here in the 41st minute of the first half, as time is winding down. We'll probably have a good bit of stoppage time as well.
You know, with an injury, you wonder how much he added. But it looks like he's doing okay. They patched him up, and he's back to fighting for him, it looks like.
So good for Foster Apia, who may have taken an elbow to the face and had to step off the field to stop the bleeding. Seacoast trying to hang in there, trying to go inside the 18. They may have a chance, and it's stolen away by the Eagles.
So see what the Eagles decide to do here. They may try to hit him with a break or slow it down. Charlotte's created the best chances of the game other than the near miss there by Seacoast by hitting him on the break, but that's tough to maintain if you start playing end-to-end in this heat and humidity, as we found out here. That's not the kind of game you want to play.
Well, both teams happy they didn't have to play in the first game, where it was incredibly hot. It's been hot all day here in Statesboro, Georgia. There's a lot of rain earlier in the week, but there's a bit of a window in between for some sunshine before it's supposed to rain again starting on Monday.
Well, hopefully we get all our games in before that happens. But Georgia Southern has a great complex. This field drains exceptionally well. First game of the year, it poured buckets and buckets before kickoff, and field was in great shape an hour later.
Well, we hope the rain stays away and we are witnessing the second Eastern Conference semifinal matchup. And I shouldn't let people know that while the Eastern Conference semifinals are going on tonight. The finals of the Central, Western, and Southern Conference will be tonight rather than tomorrow.
We'll start learning who's going to be in the Final Four real soon.
Seacoast trying to get the ball out of harm's way. Saki trying to get through.
What a battler he is.
A shoving match between him and Foster Apia. And Saki is wondering, you know, his focus may be more so on getting calls by the refs rather than just playing the game.
Yeah, that can happen. Looks like it's getting to be a bit of a chippy stretch of play here, and the referee's going to get involved.
Well, this is the same thing we saw in the first game. High intensity, very aggressive pace of play, and it almost at a fever pitch before halftime as we see another yellow card given. It's going to be on Curran Page for the Charlotte Eagles. Page, one of the defenders, has played in 11 games this season, also plays collegiate soccer at the University of Pittsburgh. There's the kick from Seacoast, headed away by the Eagles.
As I talked about in the first game, this is a big moment in the game here. It's just before halftime. And if you're Seacoast, if you can get a restart goal and capitalize on a little bit of your height advantage, going into halftime up 1-0, Charlotte's really got to come out and come after you. And with Seacoast being a team that wants to play and keep the ball, it really fits into their game plan. So we'll see if Seacoast can get one real quick.
Well, they're about to head into stoppage time, and it'll be another corner kick as Audie Jepson for the Phantoms will set up. And how great would it be if Seacoast can get a goal here right before the half? Here's the kick, it's high in the air, headed by no one, and Charlotte's going to let this one roll out of bounds. It was last touched by Seacoast United, and I believe we'll have 2 minutes of stoppage time.
Now, either team here, you'd love a goal, but you're also thinking just don't concede. You don't want to put yourself into a bad situation going into the second half. You want to be aggressive, but at the same time, the worst thing that can happen to you right now is to concede a goal right before halftime.
Best believe James Pyle, the goalkeeper for Charlotte, has been very busy in the first half, and he doesn't plan on conceding at all.
Well, he did well early in the game. He made some key saves, and that allows Charlotte to get into the game, and Charlotte's played quite well since then.
Here's a lead to Omondi, able to get it. Can he go inside? Oh, just missed. But here's another look. The shot goes wide and high over the post. Omondi trying to set up one of his teammates. At first, he missed the inside guy, which I believe was João Acosta. But on the rebound, another shot, but it goes too high and far away.
Well, Omondi did a great job of getting behind, and that was a great ball across. I just need one extra guy in the box there.
Another foul, and they're going to separate the players. And
Donette has a lot of energy, doesn't he?
yes, he has been very aggressive in this first half. Such a tall figure. We got to see him at the introduction ceremony yesterday at the clubhouse. He's a big man.
It's like in the first half here.
So
Good first half.
The first half will come to a close, and we are scoreless, the same as the first game. Stick around. We'll be right back, and Darren Van Tassel will be interviewing the coaches when we come back in a moment.
Hi fans, this is Darren Van Tassel. I'm the owner and team president for South Georgia Tormenta FC, and we are so excited to be hosting the Eastern Conference Final Four here in Statesboro, Georgia. We want to welcome all our viewers where you're watching. We've got 4 outstanding teams here. 2 are going to make the finals, and 1 will be representing us as we move on to the league championship. You know, Tormenta knows the value of the Premier Development League. The front office and our connections to the USL have been invaluable to us as a franchise our first 2 years, and to have grown to the place that our colleagues in the rest of the Eastern Conference felt confident enough for us to host the Final Four says so much about our excitement, about where we think the league is going, and what all the franchises mean to us. So happy to have you here in Statesboro, and as we say with our franchise, pros start here. All right, folks, we're here at halftime, and we another first half 0-0. Coach Bain, what are your thoughts?
It's been a very tight game so far, but 2 very good football teams trying their hardest out there. And our lads have had a lot of defending in the last 10 minutes. I thought we've done extremely well. So hopefully we'll try to build on that and get ourselves a goal in the second half.
You know, neither team, I mean, there's been a lot of possession going back and forth. Both teams are really searching for their identity. What are you thinking that fans can give us something to look for in the second half out of Seacoast?
Well, I think the Charlotte do a great job of moving the ball around. Very, very good attacking team. So I think for us in the second half, it's just taking our chances. You know, we've not tested the goalkeeper enough now, so the times we do that, we have to take them.
Well, you got a nice break, I think, on the weather. The weather's turned really pleasant on the second half. Hopefully the boys are ready to go. Anything that fans are walking you want sort of say and have them looking for?
Well, our boys' fitness levels are fantastic. We've showed that over the course of the season, so the guys that are watching us back home will expect nothing else.
That'll be great. Folks, we're here 0-0 at halftime. We'll turn it back over and get ready for the second half.
Georgia's best and brightest choose Southern. Georgia Southern University offers an innovative, hands-on approach to learning that prepares you to succeed in the workplace and in life. Whether our students go on to become a Georgia Teacher of the Year, work as a Disney Imagineer, or conduct groundbreaking coastal research, Georgia Southern is the right choice. Choose Southern at georgiasouthern.edu.
We get you back to you.
Here we go. The storm is coming.
Tormenta attacking. Tormenta aggressive that time defensively, and it pays off. Up in the air, shot taken, deflected, and just to the right. Good chance, and it's an early goal. He puts this one in a good spot, and it's a goal.
Welcome to South Georgia.
The rebound is up and good for Tormenta.
Tormenta is here.
Mine too.
I got a new swimsuit with glitter and fringes, and I got a case of the too many Benjamins.
Another 0-0 scoreless game here in Irk Russell Park in Statesboro, Georgia. Halftime between the Charlotte Eagles and Seacoast United Phantoms. And I'm joined here with Ashley McLaughlin, who is the social media coordinator for Seacoast and also the PDL Minor League Ops manager.
Yes.
First, welcome to Statesboro. It's a long trip from New Hampshire to Georgia.
It sure was, but honestly, we're so happy to be here.
Well, it's a great experience for Seacoast United. This past season has been great. It's been your first year of a home venue, and also has been Allie Bain's first year as the head coach. Tell me, how has that been this season?
So honestly, last year we actually had to play at 3 different fields for our home field. So the fact that we're playing in Amesbury and actually have a turf that we can say, hey, this is home for us, we were able to build up not just a fan base, but a community as well. And bringing on Allie has really just amplified that. He just gets to know the guys, really pushes them to be the best players they can be, but he also pushes them to be the best people they can be. So it's a really amazing experience to watch, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
And how has the season overall been? Once again, Northeastern Division champions, the first time since 2014. How has the overall experience been for the fans of Seacoast United?
Well, honestly, I've seen a huge difference even through the season, and to go undefeated throughout most of the season and only give up 2 draws and 1 loss, it's really just boosted up the guys. They really just work well together as a team, and they focus more on the team play rather than an individual play.
You've done great so far. First year with a new stadium, a new head coach. What is going to be next in order for Seacoast to expand moving forward?
Well, we really hope to really keep getting those fan bases growing, and we want to get more involved within our community. So right now it was more just within our Seacoast family. So we have clubs that range from Mass all the way to Maine. So our geographical range actually is equivalent to the size of England. So now we want to expand that to other clubs as well. We want to make it an open environment, but not just for soccer fans, but for the entire Seacoast community.
You watched the first game earlier, Long Island, Northeastern Division rivals advancing to the finals. What would it be to meet Long Island tomorrow night here in Statesboro?
Honestly, personally, I would love to see that. I want to see Northeast represent this Eastern Conference and one of us take it home.
Well, thank you, Ashley McLaughlin, the social media coordinator for Seacoast United. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back here in a moment.
Thanks, guys.
Georgia Southern's best and brightest choose Southern for research. Georgia Southern University offers undergraduates the unique opportunity to join in the meaningful research occurring outside the classroom and across more than 120 degree programs. Our hands-on approach to learning prepares you to succeed in the workplace and in life. Join Georgia's best and brightest. Choose Southern at georgiasouthern.edu.
We get you back to you.
Through downtown and thrift stores, a blue mile to your door. With new sights and old friends, a new day, no dead end. 'Cause I'm off the highway for good. Oh, I'm moving on and I'm letting go. And I just thought that you should know that I'm on my own, but I'm not alone. 'Cause I've got the road with fast cars and more
Back live in Statesboro, Georgia. Halftime here, scoreless between the Charlotte Eagles and Seacoast United Phantoms. I am now joined with the general manager of the Charlotte Eagles, Andrew Pierce. Andrew, great to have you with us.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having us down here. It's been first class all the way so far.
Not too far of a drive like Long Island and Seacoast, but you are here in the Eastern Conference Championships for the third year in a row, and it's your third year in the PDL. How has it been so far for the Charlotte Eagles?
Well, regular season seems to go fine, and then we get to the playoffs and can't seem to get over the hump of the Eastern Conference semifinal. So hopefully, it's 0-0 here at half. Hopefully Coach Dixon can make some adjustments and get a goal or two here in the second half, and we can advance to play Long Island.
Nonetheless, in the first 3 years in the PDL, you've had great success. South Atlantic Division champions in the first 2 seasons. Finished second this year, but you're in the playoffs again. You saw Myrtle Beach get eliminated earlier. But I want to ask, how does Charlotte look to expand from here?
I think a lot of it comes down to Dave, Coach Dixon, and just the way he recruits and the guys we go after, and it's a testament to him and a testament to the guys that stick around year after year and help build the culture that we have. But yeah, Myrtle Beach, a tough team. Sad to see them go out. Would have loved to have played a South Atlantic team in the championship if we get there. But Long Island was a tough team. We watched the end of that as we were waiting for that game to end and our game to start. So.
There's not many PDL teams that have the luxury of having their team based in one of the biggest cities and most thriving cities in the state, like Charlotte, North Carolina. What are some ways that the Charlotte Eagles have been involved with the community?
I think first and foremost, we do a great inner city ministry called Urban Eagles. And so a lot of that is guys, staff folks living in neighborhoods and just kind of investing in kids, a lot of refugee, African American even. So that is a big part of who we are and what we do, and reaching out to those guys and getting guys to live in the neighborhood so they're around the kids all the time. It's just, it's amazing.
The PDL is always expanding year by year. What does it mean for Charlotte to be able to expand with the PDL?
Well, we're starting a youth club, and so that, I think, will help expand our footprint, I hope. But a lot of it is just keeping the Charlotte community engaged and getting guys that, have grown up in Charlotte and played high school soccer and getting them, those high-level guys to come back and play PDL. Like James Pyle's been here 3rd year. He's a Charlotte guy, plays at UNC Chapel Hill. It's getting those guys that are from Charlotte kind of bought into what Charlotte soccer is all about.
The first 2 seasons eliminated in the Eastern Conference semifinals is the 3rd time a charm.
I hope so. That's a saying, and I like it. So hopefully we can get over this hump.
Well, we still have plenty of action to go. Second half coming up on their way. We're going to take one more commercial break, and we'll be right back with the second half of the Charlotte Eagles versus the Seacoast United Phantoms.
Thanks, guys.
Getting ready for live second half action here with Charlotte. We've got Coach Josh. Josh, a little something for us to look forward to. Think about the first half. What can we look forward to second half?
Yeah, sure. I think we're going to look to stay composed in the second half. It got a little frantic in the first half, looking to keep the ball, move it quickly, find the wide spaces on the field, and look to move forward and finish off the chances that we had in the first half. Those are usually chances we finish off, and we're looking to put those away.
Anything special you guys said to the guys in the locker room that fans listening might be curious to look for second half?
Nothing too special, just staying composed on the ball, not giving Seacoast any chance to pump the ball forward and really come after us. They're a talented talented side, and giving them any opportunities to come after us is something we don't want to give them.
45 minutes away from an Eastern Conference championship. How's the weather holding up for the guys?
The weather's great. I mean, it's nice to be able to play at 8:30 at night where the sun's gone down and it's cooled off quite a bit. So we're just trying to keep the gnats out of our face.
Great. 0-0, getting ready for the second half action. Back to you up in the booth.
Those gnats have always been a problem in Statesboro, Georgia, as we welcome you back to Irk Russell Park as we get ready for the second half between the Charlotte Eagles and the Seacoast United Phantoms. It is scoreless as we're getting ready to begin the second half. Daniel Wall joined by head coach John Milleracey of Tormenta FC. This is the same scenario we saw in the first game between Long Island and Myrtle Beach. It was the Rough Riders who were the aggressors in the second half. Which team do you see looking to be more aggressive here between Charlotte and Seacoast?
You know, it's the same score, but a very, very different game. The first half was end-to-end, lots of chances both ways. It could be 2-2. That wasn't the case in the first game. So that's a great question. I think the key is to stick to your game plan because it's working. Neither team is really struggling in this game. And I think really it's just stick to what you're doing well and try to tweak it to a few things to cause some problems and make big plays in big moments. And I think that's what wins you these kind of championship type games is do you have some key players that recognize big moments in the game and make a big play.
Well, it will be intriguing to see how the Charlotte Eagles, a very young team, face adversity here in the second half of a playoff game. Of course, their strategy is to be dangerous on the counterattack, and the goal was to get here to the playoffs. And now, after spending the first two seasons being eliminated in the semifinals, they don't want to make it a third year in a row.
Yeah, Dave's done a fantastic job the past couple of years. And he was first to tell me earlier today that last year's team was more talented. They had Santi Moore and Jaime Siaj as the wingers last year. Both got drafted into the MLS, and both have been dropped down to the USL for some experience. But it's good coaching. They're back in the same scenario with less talent, but these guys are bought in, working hard, and finding ways to win games. And I look to see them to continue that in the second half.
Both teams flipping sides. Charlotte in the orange, Seacoast in the Tar Heel blue and white. James Powell, the goalkeeper for the Eagles, wearing black, and Dorhoff, the goalkeeper for Seacoast, in the red. Here comes Charlotte trying to find a way, and it looks like João Acosta was gobbled up by three Phantoms trying to advance upfield.
Yep, looks like Charlotte is still going to look to hit him on the break. Seacoast puts a lot of numbers forward. It's a good tactic because you can catch them bombing on, and if you can get 2v3 or 3v3 running at Seacoast back line, if you're Charlotte, that's what you want.
Well, this may be an opportunity where Seacoast can take advantage in the second half. They have more mature guys on their squad rather than Charlotte. And one thing, talking with the coaches earlier before this game, they said that the team responds well to adversity. You don't see guys yelling at each other on the field. They believe in each other and motivate each other. They're a really close group, like a family.
Well, you could tell that just spending some time with them last night, seeing them hang out in the clubhouse. You know, both of these teams, and I'm not saying I didn't notice it from the other two, but especially these two, you can tell they enjoy being together. And when you have a team that has a family atmosphere, that really enjoys spending time together, it makes you a better soccer team. Your play is enhanced because you trust each other. And these guys clearly have great relationships off the field. It's showing up.
And that's what Ali Bain does a great job of, trying to foster a close family environment. Guys from so many different backgrounds. It's very interesting. And as the summer goes, the trust and the commitment grows and the chemistry grows as well. We also saw them this morning at the farmers market here in Statesboro, Georgia, having a good time out there.
Some guys
meeting
started
some
dancing.
of the area. Yes. Some guys out there.
Now, we've been impressed with all four teams. I was talking with our vice president actually this morning, and she was saying how much she was enjoying, Heidi was enjoying all four teams. The representatives have been so professional that the players have handled themselves in a first-class way. All four teams are showing so well for their organizations. So we've enjoyed hosting them.
Possession will go back to Seacoast United. The 2017 Eastern Conference Championships being held in Statesboro, Georgia, and that's a monumental thing, not just for Darren Van Tassel and Heidi Jeffers, the owner and GM of Tormenta, but it's also big for the state of Georgia itself. This past year, with the inclusion of Atlanta United in their first season, and the positivity and the great response that they have gotten over the summer does wonders for all the other teams here in the state.
You're seeing such a huge growth in the game. When I was, gosh, maybe 10, the 1990 World Cup was on in Italy, and there were only maybe 5 or 6 games actually covered on TV, and it was on TNT at odd hours of the night because they didn't show them live. Now you look, there's semi-professional soccer in Statesboro, flipping Georgia. You know, I mean, this is a football town through and through. I mean, this is Irk Russell Park of all things, and we're hosting the conference Final Four. So it shows the growth in the game and the fact that our last home game was a down night. We had 1,600 people there. So it's exciting. It's exciting to be part of this organization and see what the PDL's doing and how the game is growing.
Absolutely. Statesboro being a more football-oriented town with Georgia Southern. For those who are watching and who are wondering who Irk Russell is, he was the man who brought college football to this town, able to win 3 national championships in the FCS for Georgia Southern, and has really helped the football community thrive here. Now we're seeing a different kind of football thrive here in Statesboro with Tormenta FC and being able to host the Eastern Conference Championships.
You can say real football. You don't have to say different kind. You can say real football. we'll invite you back.
You're going to have a harder time trying to convince the townspeople around here to call it the real football.
This might be your last broadcast.
Back and forth we go as possession goes back to Charlotte. As we haven't really seen either team get the one up over the other so far here to start.
Well, Charlotte's got a little more spry in their step, it looks like. They've come out, they're pressing a little bit higher. They've created some early chances. Their wingbacks, Hazley Pyle just got forward and created a chance. So they're looking to push the game a little bit more than the first half.
Possession going to Seacoast, pardon me, as the Phantoms trying to look for an opening. Alex Neff trying to go up the middle. Header into the inside 18. Here's an opening, here's a shot, deflected by Pyle.
Holy smokes.
Great awareness by James Pyle.
That was a big-time save. What a play. Watch his reactions here. There's a deflection. That's what makes it so impressive, is that it wasn't a direct shot. It was a deflection. He was able to get his hand up and over the bar. A lot of keepers push that into the side netting or miss it completely. What a save.
That was Leo Paiva, one of the reserves for Seacoast, trying to put the Phantoms ahead. Now here comes the first corner kick of the second half. A header, and it's a goal! And Seacoast gets the one up on Charlotte, and they take a 1-0 lead. Donat Saki, who has been itching for his first goal here in the game.
Well, that's where restarts play a huge part in games. Charlotte has come out, pushing the game, creating chances, and then the first time Seacoast is even close to the box there, after a big save, they make a huge play and a restart. He's earned it, man. He's been working hard. He's earned that goal.
In the 52nd minute, Saki gets his 10th goal of the season, able to get it off of a header and the death stare into the camera, walking over to midfield.
Well, it looks like we've got a great crowd of the Georgia Southern ID camp here. John Murphy brought his camp over for the game this evening. Apparently they've taken a liking to Seacoast. So we were celebrating with the crowd over there.
Well, Seacoast with the lead, and now they look to hold on to the lead. James Pyle, who has been near perfect in this game, who made an amazing save prior to the goal.
There's nothing to get it done on that one. When you look at the way the ball was shaped into the box and the way he snapped it down, I mean, you can't get anything on that. That's nothing James could do. I said early in the first half that there is a bit of a height difference between the teams, and the Seacoast could potentially take advantage of that, and they certainly did. That was a great play from them.
They were able to with Don Saki, you know, he's a polarizing figure out there on the field.
So now with Seacoast, with their style of play and what they try to do in a game, they're sitting in a very good position now because they'll keep the ball. They've settled in. They got a goal lead. They don't have to push the game. They can be pragmatic with their usage of the ball. So they're in good shape. Charlotte really needs to push a little bit here to make it interesting.
Well, Seacoast will have possession again. They may try to make this a 2-0 game. The same way Long Island put the icing on the cake in stoppage time.
Another important moment here. A lot of goals occur within moments of the first one. You can over-celebrate. You can take a gut punch if you concede a goal and not recover quick enough and then turn around and concede another. So this is a big moment in the game. If you look at us, when we hosted Nashville that second time, the third time we played them, we were up 2-1, and rightfully so, and we scored, and then 70 seconds later we gave up a restart. So these are important moments in the game.
You have to keep your eyes aware at all times. Can't let up at any moment. So another kick for Seacoast. Looks like Marcos Bautista will be doing the kick. No. A fake. And Bautista goes for the shot. Deflected off of the legs of Charlotte. The Phantoms able to keep possession. There's a long shot, a rainbow shot caught by Pyle.
Again, Donette being very active there. He's played a big role in this game.
You can tell he is wired now. He got his goal, and now he's ready to take it up another notch.
He's got some juice in his legs for sure.
Here's a look at the rainbow arcing shot.
Well, Charlotte needs to stick to what they do well. They don't need to panic yet. There's plenty of time in the game. They've got plenty of athletes and good soccer players in the field. They need to get Ryan involved in the game, get him pulling strings. They got to get Gavin forward, and to get Jow forward. Get them in and around the box. They're a dangerous team when that happens. This is good from them. This is what they want.
Multiple players for Charlotte that can score as it goes within the 18 and it rolls out of bounds. You named off a lot of great players for the Eagles who can help tie this game. Guys like Ryan Williams and João Acosta and even Kelvin Omondi, who has been very involved in the offense in the first half. Had a couple of looks, just wasn't able to connect.
Yep, those first half chances from Charlotte are going to come back to bite them because I think they probably deserved a goal in at least one of them. But that's soccer. That's why people either love the sport or hate it because it's not fair sometimes. But nothing from Seacoast. They played very well. They've kept the ball well. They've tackled hard. They've got great belief, good body language. So this is a good game.
We're only in the 57th minute, so there is still plenty of time for Charlotte to answer back. Whistle blown, and we'll be going the other way for the Eagles.
So I'm interested to see here if Dave Dixon makes any changes. He elected to go with more or less a back five in this game. We'll see if he gets a little more aggressive here and pushes some numbers forward. Because right now, if you look at their wing backs in that back five, they're more in a back three right now. If you get those guys active and in the box, they're going to create a lot of chances through that.
Looks like Charlotte is going, if I'm correct, about at first it looked like a 4-2-3, and now they seem to have switched.
Now Charlotte came out defensively in a five-back. When they have the ball, they take the wing backs, push them very high, and it's a clear three-back. And it's been effective. They created chances, but I wonder if the game's going to change now that they're down a goal.
defensively for Seacoast. They're going to rely a lot on Thor Hoffs to make a common presence on the field, be the leader for the back line, able to help the team when they're down. He is great defensively. Made a couple of good saves. Charlotte had a couple looks, but it's been more so Seacoast that's been doing a majority of the attacking.
Yeah, Seacoast has done well. A goal in a game means so much. I know that sounds fairly cliche, but if it's 0-0 and you get your first goal, it just gives you a shot in the arm if you're the team that's in the lead and allows you to relax and settle in a little bit. And then sometimes it's a wake-up call for the team that just conceded. So I think both teams have responded pretty well to this, to the first goal in the game, and I think we've got a very interesting 30 minutes ahead of us.
Words being exchanged between one of the officials and the head coach for Seacoast United, Ali Bain. Bain may have not liked the call that was given by the official.
Not like me. I never say anything to the refs. I just sit on the bench and smile.
Sometimes you just got to learn how to hold your tongue. You don't want to.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way this year, that's for sure.
You don't want to let emotions get to a fever pitch.
Well, what you want to do as a coach is, you pick your times to speak to the referee, and if you feel like there's something to stand up for your players, you say something. But you have to do it in the right manner. You have to do it in a respectful way. And if you feel like some of your players are getting hurt and there's some cheap shots, you gotta. Sometimes you have to have a go.
Ali Bain in his first season with Seacoast spent 2010 to 2016 forming and being the GM and head coach of GPS Portland Phoenix in Portland, Maine. They made the trip 2 hours down the road to be the head coach for the Phantoms. And in his time with the Phoenix, 3-time Northeast Division champions. And last year he took that team to the playoffs and lost to the Ocean City Nor'easters in the playing game 3-1. So a fresh start with a new team, and he wants to start it on a good note with a win and advance into the Eastern Conference Championships in what would be a Northeast Division rivalry between the Phantoms and the Long Island Rough Riders.
Well, he clearly knows how to build good teams, that he can leave something that he built and have some success there, and obviously bring some of the same methods and philosophy into Seacoast and do the same thing. So he's on the brink of a final here, and almost moving his team into the final 8 of the PDL, which would be a great achievement in his first year.
And not to mention, also I have to mention that while the semifinals of the Eastern Conference are going on tonight, the finals in the Western, Southern, and also the Midwest finals are going on tonight. So by tomorrow, the Eastern Conference will have the final team to be included in the PDL finals.
Yeah, a lot of heavyweights lost early. Oklahoma, Synergy lost. SEMA lost.
Defending champs has lost as well.
Bucks lost. Reading lost. So it's wide open. It's a good chance here from Charlotte. Oh my goodness. Is that a save or a?
I believe it rolled out of harm's way. Good reach by Thor Hoff, though. We'll take another look.
I'm not sure if he got a piece of that or the tough call there. Again, that's why I'm not a ref.
Here's another look.
Yeah, it looks like it just hit the bar there. I think they sorted it out. The linesman was able to get involved. It's good officiating.
Sigh of relief from Thor Hoffs.
That's good from Charlotte. It's a close chance again. Seacoast has conceded a couple chances that they've got to feel like they're a little fortunate. The one in the first half that just whizzed by the bar, and that one that just clipped off the post. So Charlotte's knocking on the door. They got to be careful.
Charlotte on the attack, trying to get through. They want to tie this game up. They don't want to go home yet. For those who have just we're just now tuning in, it is 1-0 Seacoast United. Donette Saki in the 52nd minute, a header for the goal. Daniel Wall and head coach John Millaresi of Tormenta FC here providing the play-by-play and color commentary action, along with the video production of the Georgia Southern Multimedia Development Center.
If you look at the two benches here, you see everybody up from Charlotte warming up. Looks like Dave's going to be making some changes soon. If you look over at Seacoast, not a whole lot of guys are getting active there.
Well, another yellow card just given out, and it will be to Seacoast. So the yellow card officiated to Erdemus Momo for Seacoast United. And Charlotte with possession again. Trying to work up the middle.
It's a good play to break that up. Well, Charlotte's really taking initiative here. They're moving the ball quicker. They're getting bodies forward. So now what this allows Seacoast to do, even though they're a possession-oriented team, they can hit them on the break as well and use their own tactics against them.
Good pass. Saki trying to go for another goal, making it 2. I'm sorry, that's actually Terrence Carter for Seacoast trying to make a play. Beautiful pass over to the far side. Just wasn't able to
So
get an open look.
If you watch Charlotte now, there's only 25 minutes left or so. They got to get bodies forward to make this a game. So now Seacoast can sit back a little bit and try to hit them on the break.
Well, Charlotte may have some heavy legs, and as you said, all members of Charlotte on the bench are on their feet warming up. They may try to make a couple of substitutions, put some fresh legs in there to try and tie this game up. Guys like Paul Awful and David Coloco and Siobhan John Brown. A couple of reserves for the Charlotte Eagles awaiting to enter the game. And the tension must be rising a little bit for Charlotte.
Well, again, Dave Dixon's a very experienced coach. He's been here before. A lot of these players have been here before during this season where they've had to come back from a goal down and get a tie or get 3 points on the road. And they've got it in their locker, and I think Seacoast has proven that they can get a lead and hang on because they do things well. So this should be an interesting last bit of the match.
Douglas Oliveira slow to get up for the Eagles. Seems to be fine. He will stay in the match. And you notice here is Donette Saki is really trying to test these defenders, try to get a steal.
Well, he's put a lot of energy into this game.
He definitely has.
You wonder how he rebounds if he gets a chance to play tomorrow. What kind of legs he'll have in tomorrow's game.
There's a shot. Good block by Thor Hoffs.
Great save. Okay, again, you've got Ryan Williams pushing higher up. And anytime you get him in that staging area on top of the 18, things are going to happen for the Eagles, and that's good from them.
Amazing deflection. A good shot, though, by Charlotte, but nice diving save by Hoffs. And Thor is doing the best he can to lay the hammer down on the Eagle offense.
Well played.
Corner kick for Charlotte. And it will be João Acosta.
Ambitious there, but why not?
So as we are midway through the second half, time winding down for the Eagles. Charlotte went 9-3-2, finished second in the South Atlantic Division. Their third year in the PDL, their third straight trip to the Eastern Conference Championships, losing in the semifinals both times. And here in their third year, they're down 1-0 to Seacoast United, who finished 11-1-2 and won the Northeast Division for the first time since 2014. And a player down for Seacoast.
It's a great battle going on between Douglas and Donette, the center back for Charlotte, and Donette, the number 9, the striker for Seacoast.
And Saki, slow to get up. It looks like a yellow card is going to be given. And that's going to be on Douglas Oliveira. We have seen a good back and forth battle between the two. Much aggressiveness.
Well, two big guys, two fierce competitors, and they've done a good job of keeping it pretty clean. I think that was a little harsh on Oliveira for a yellow. It may have been one of his first cynical fouls, but referee saw otherwise. So again, a big moment here. They can capitalize on their height, get a 2-0 lead, and they can, I don't want to say coast, but they can see the light in the tunnel.
Here's the kick, and saved by Pyle. I was going to say, Douglas Oliveira has only had one yellow card prior to this game. Now picking up his second in the year. And for Seacoast, you have to appreciate the defense that they're putting on Charlotte, but they don't want to go too overboard.
Right.
And let Charlotte sweep through the cracks.
No, they've done a very good job of containing Charlotte's attackers. As I mentioned earlier, the pace of Charlotte's the biggest thing you got to deal with, and it really hasn't been that much of a factor except for a couple moments in the game. They've done a good job of dealing with it.
Hoffs will kick it out of the way, and it will stay here for Charlotte. Eagles trying to find the look. Good deflection by Seacoast. Another player down for the Eagles. But play still continues, and then another whistle.
Wow.
And you know Seacoast.
He's got to be careful.
Seacoast
He's
and
already
Charlotte.
got a yellow. He's got to be real careful there.
Wow.
You got to get Douglas away. Let someone else yell at the ref. He's already got a yellow.
Even Donat
He's
Saki
got a
came
beef.
up.
He's got a beef. Watch, this is a good tackle unless I totally missed it here.
Here's another look. He was going for the ball, will it look like.
Yeah, you know, some officials say he challenged from behind is granted a free kick. I tend to disagree, but
it was very interesting that Donat Saki even told Oliveira to calm down.
That's good sportsmanship.
Well, things have been escalating to a fever pitch tonight. You've seen great action all evening. The first matchup between Long Island and the Myrtle Beach Mutiny. That was a great back and forth. Here's another look.
I mean, you got all ball. It's clear. But it is from behind, and I think by interpretation, I think it is a foul. But I'm not a ref.
It'll be possession Seacoast. And it will be number 4 for the Phantoms, Audie Jepson, on the free kick. Inside, off the heel of Saki, right into the hands of James Pyle. Looking for a trick shot there.
They all count the same.
That's all that matters.
Charlotte's really struggling because they don't really have a point striker like Donette is for Seacoast. A guy just like that can just get in a pocket, hold people off, does all kinds of work. That's what Jamie Merriam did for us in this last half of the season and even into the first part when he started getting hot. He was able, even though he wasn't as big as Annette, to hold off center backs, get in the pockets, be active, and just disrupt. It looks like Charlotte just doesn't quite have the athleticism in terms of height and strength to match up with their back line.
Tormenta was on a roll in the end of the season. Another person like Jamie Merriam who really strided out towards the end of the year was Jad Arslan.
Oh, Jad got real hot as well. Such a good player and versatile too. We were struggling early in the season. I moved him to right back, and he was very, very good there.
Good save by Pyle there.
And then once we settled that down and Nick locked that down, we were able to move him in his preferred position wide on the left and made me look like a genius. He got a hat trick in his first time out there. But he's a great player, great attitude. Love to have him back again.
He will be heading back to West Virginia for the upcoming 2017 season.
Going to his senior year, and hopefully he has a good one. If Charlotte could just slip a ball in behind and get some of their attackers to run onto it, that's the chance they're looking for. And Seacoast has been so good at breaking up that final pass.
Well, they have about 15 minutes in stoppage time as well to try and tie this game up. 1-0 Seacoast United.
That's a century in soccer. That's plenty of time.
We've seen a couple of subs come in for Charlotte. About when do you see them putting in the rest and having those fresh legs in the game?
You know, I think it's if you look over the bench right now, he's got his notepad out with his assistant coach, and he's about to make a change. Here's a great chance for him.
Charlotte on the attack, inside the middle, danger zone, goal! And we are tied up at 1. João Acosta in the 75th minute ties the game up at 1.
That shot, that's been coming for him. He had 2 glorious chances early. And again, you know, that's what you want. They got in behind, they got around him, was able to lay a ball back, and they've got so many weapons. They can punish you. So now, just talking about the changes they're going to make, now it's 1-1. Maybe you start reversing some of those changes and sticking to what got you where you were.
Well, you said 15 minutes is an eternity in
It's a lot
soccer.
of time. It's a lot of time.
And João Acosta getting his 12th goal of the season.
And if this goes to overtime, my understanding is 2 10s or 2 15s.
Well, after that, we go to PKs.
Yep.
No ties here. One must advance to the championship tomorrow night to face the Long Island Rough Riders.
Oh, wow.
And here's a look. Acosta trying to get ahead, but a whistle blown.
Fans getting into it. That's awesome. Giving it to the ref there. All right, game's wide open. This is good stuff. Seacoast is pushing numbers. Look at this. Ooh.
Just as the goal by Danette Saki was able to get past James Pyle, Thor Hoffs had a good read on it, but was phased up towards the end, and the pass into Acosta.
Well, the game that Charlotte would prefer is what's happening now. It's getting end to end. There's not a whole lot of passes in midfield. It's going back to front, and that fits Charlotte. Seacoast needs to get hold of the game again, move the ball, stick to what they do well.
Seacoast kicking it out of bounds, but it's going to be Charlotte possession. And they may have a chance to take the lead here. You said it earlier, John. After the first goal, another one comes moments after.
They can. We can tell it's definitely giving Charlotte a lift here. And João is a very dangerous player. Plays collegiate soccer, Troop McConnell. And was very highly rated. And has proven to be very dangerous tonight. like Charlotte has switched to a 4-2-3-1 here, going to 4 backs, going to probably their base system.
And now you have to wonder what's going through the minds of the Seacoast United players. They had the lead for about 23 minutes.
Yeah, but they're in playoff games. These kind of games happen. You get your first goal, you settle in, and all of a sudden you're playing against a good team, and they get one. So now it's, again, sticking to your game plan, sticking to what you do well, not getting sucked into the emotion of the moment, being disciplined and pragmatic, and making the most of any chance you get.
All you need is that one moment, that 1 second.
Well, we've seen both goalkeepers come up big, and I have a feeling they're going to need to continue to do that. The goalkeeper that probably makes the most clutch save is going to be the team that wins the game.
Well, you can best believe that the two guys that are going to be leading the charge for both teams, for Charlotte's João Acosta and for Seacoast, is Danette Saki.
Absolutely. Both strikers have a goal in the game. That's what you want to see.
The difference here for Seacoast, speaking with the coaches, they have a numerous amount of players that can score for their team. So they don't have to rely on Saki at all. And Pyle able to make the save off of the shot that was deflected off the leg of one of the Charlotte defenders. Charlotte trying to get through. Ryan Williams, that's the guy you said needs to get involved, trying to get involved in a shot right into the arms of Thor Hoffs.
So they move Ryan to a true attacking mid, number 10 role, right in behind João. And it's going to allow him to have freedom to advance up the field, because now they get 2 center mids behind him that can do the dirty work. So this will free Ryan up to get in some pockets and start really influencing the game and higher up the field.
No whistle as Leo Paiva tripped up, and he's still on the ground. Play continues, and he is still down, and Marcos Bautista is going to kick the ball out of bounds to stop play, and one of the trainers is going to check on Paiva. Paiva's played in 10 games this season, scored 7 goals on the year. He had a hat trick earlier this season against the Western Massachusetts Pioneers.
Hopefully it's not too serious.
Take a look, and he looks like his knee may have collided.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a knock. Nothing too serious.
He's getting that knee checked out by one of the trainers who was also the trainer for Tormenta FC over the summer. Things have escalated pretty quick here as time continues to go in the 82nd minute, now approaching the 83rd minute. It's tied 1-1 between the Charlotte Eagles and Seacoast United Phantoms. Danette Saki getting a goal in the 52nd minute off of the header. And João Acosta able to answer back.
So if you're Long Island and you're already in the final tomorrow night, you want both these teams to get into overtime and have it be a nail biter to the very end, so both teams are exhausted. So this is working out in Long Island's favor. It goes to overtime, but to be honest, this game does. I think this game has another goal in it in regulation, the way it's opened up.
Paiva now on his feet, and a good time for both teams to kind of rest here for a moment, because these next 10 minutes are going to be crucial.
They will. I'm not sure how much injury time we'll have, but I think we'll have close to 10 minutes total. And, I think Charlotte looks to be pushing the game and trying to win in regulation.
Paiva limping his way over to the sideline. His night will be over as Seacoast already brought in a substitution.
13. You got whistle, yeah? Thank you.
It will be possession Charlotte. As both teams trying to advance to tomorrow's championship match, which will start at 8 p.m. And also by that time, we will know the other 3 participants that will be in the PDL finals, with the semifinals starting next Saturday and the finals on August the 5th.
Good sportsmanship there. Seacoast kicked it out to get their players some treatment. And, Charlotte kicked it back. That's what you like to see. It's one of the good parts of this game.
Well, Petter Backen will come in for Paiva. And now Seacoast looking to get ahead here down in the corner. And possession will remain here for the Phantoms. It'll be a throw-in, not a corner kick.
It's a great
There's
ball.
a shot saved by Pyle.
It was already up.
Well, we know one team that will be in the PDL finals, the Thunder Bay Chill, defeating the Des Moines Menace 2-0, representing the Central Conference.
That's another big name that's out. Des Moines typically advances pretty far in the playoffs. So again, just shows the parity of the league. Teams are getting better each year.
Also in the Southern Conference, no final score yet, but it will be FC Miami City versus Mississippi Brilla FC.
I think that game was lightning delayed for a good bit, so I'm not sure what the score is.
There was some lightning delay in yesterday's semifinals as well, if I'm not mistaken. And then in the Western Conference, the Fresno Fuego versus the FC Golden State Force. As that game...
Looks like Danette's down here with a cramp. That was a long time coming. The guys put in a shift. And this humidity.
Well, he has been up and down the field throughout this entire game. And you wonder how both of these teams, these players feel, or how they are feeling right now, and how they will feel if they have to go into overtime.
Well, I think what you look at and what you tell your teams in overtime is to not let the moment and the emotion dictate your performance, but just to stick to what you do and to play simple, be proactive, and really there's so much character and so much just grit you have to show in games like this to find a way to win, not just hope you win, but actually create a way to win the game. And that's what special players do, good coaches do, and good teams do. So I'm curious to see which one figures it out.
I think it's safe to say that we may have a good bit of stoppage time.
I think so. Good overtime, maybe here to 1 o'clock in the morning.
Danette Sackey's still down.
Yeah, cramps are no joke. They hurt.
Oh, yeah.
It may just be as simple as a muscle cramp, but you start trying to get up and then it hits again. Man, it's painful.
Just like a sharp pain that just kind of hits out of nowhere, too.
It's pretty dang painful. You see big guys like that writhing on the ground, you know.
Oh, you know he's definitely in pain.
Yep. This is a big moment because he has been a big part of obviously scoring the goal, but just their tactics. A big guy up top to hold the ball, to press the backs. Without him, they're going to be struggling. We'll see what they've got on the bench to replace him.
He has been the heart of this Seacoast United offense. You know, they're giving it all they got. They don't want to go back to New Hampshire. They want to stay here in Statesboro, Georgia, one more day. So, Saki will, with the help of the two trainers, heading over to the sideline. You'd hate to think that his night is done because he's done so much.
Once a guy's cramping that badly, it's tough to get him back in. So I'm not sure if they made any substitutions yet. Looks like they may have. So if you look at the stature, the difference in athleticism, they get a young man up top now that's...
And there goes another one.
How's the other striker cramping?
They've really been just giving it all. Jao Costa now down, cramping.
Well, I said it earlier that both teams were flying out of the gate. It'd be interesting to see if they can sustain it. And you're starting to see the toll. May have to go penalties right on. May not be enough guys in the field to go to overtime.
Who knows? Only time will tell. And in the process of, well, we're at the 90th minute, so we're about to approach stoppage time. It'll be interesting to see how much time that both of these teams will have.
6 or 7 minutes, because most of this last 8 minutes has been with the trainers on the field.
Seacoast gonna try and end it right here. And very physical between the two. We're gonna have 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Awesome, no surprises that little.
5 minutes stoppage time.
Some say it's a little, some say it's a lot, but for the circumstances that we've seen in this game,
it's a lot of time.
a chance for Charlotte. On the near side, trying to wrap around. Inside the 18.
Oh, that's a great tackle.
And a collision.
That's a great tackle, well timed. That's a big guy he just dropped too. He got all of it.
Wow. Head-on collision with Mattia Wape. I'm sorry, Alex Neff.
Oh my goodness. Ball dropping in the 6. This stage of the game, you got to think that's just fatigue. Neither team getting a touch on the ball there.
So now Seacoast with possession again. Dorhoff's on the goal kick. And with little time in a tie game, do you do all you can to try and end it here, or do you hold off for overtime? Because we see it's very physical play between the two. We've seen some cramping and some injuries.
I don't think anybody wants to go to overtime. You got a game tomorrow night.
They want to end it now.
I think you're going to see both teams put everything on the line here to make it happen.
Stays in. Drew Goff.
There's another corner for him. But they don't have done that in the game, so you wonder.
Who do you go to?
Yeah, what kind of threat they're going to be. Looks like they push a couple of their big bodies forward.
It'll be interesting to see who will face the Long Island Rough Riders in tomorrow night's championship game. Will it be the Charlotte Eagles or Seacoast United Phantom? Here's the corner kick. And it's headed away.
There's
Audie
a chance
Jepson
for
on the
Charlotte
kick.
to break here. This is where they're dangerous. Look at these bodies flying.
They want to focus on the counterattack. That's how they're able to get wins.
So Zhao's down with another cramp.
It's a very physical game between the two, and another player down for Seacoast. So free kick here for the Phantoms.
This is where
Nick
games
Melville.
like this can be won and lost. To restart late in injury time. It's all about the first, second ball. See if James Pyle can come up with a big save. This is a dangerous opportunity.
Melville on the kick. Tried to head it in, but it goes right, and Powell able to scoop it up.
It's a great ball. Look at
Charlotte
that.
trying to get ahead. I believe it'll be offsides.
What a ball to pick him out from that distance and drop it on his foot. Unfortunately, he's offsides.
We saw a goal in stoppage time earlier in the first game. And Junior Rosero.
Oh, he's in behind. Look at this.
Here's a chance for Seacoast to get it. Stops the shot. Blocked by Pyle. Second chance.
What a save.
They lose it. It'll stay here for the Phantoms. There's the kick, but it's high, arcing over the net. Two very great opportunities for Seacoast.
Well, again, James Pyle, you know, in speaking with the Charlotte Eagles staff before this game, they had mentioned he had made some big saves in the last 3 or 4 games to ensure that they won the game.
Pyle, the driving force in Charlotte, winning their last 3 games just to get here to the playoffs.
All right, overtime.
And I believe we will be going to overtime. It is tied 1-1. It'll be 15-minute halves.
Well, now the question is, what do you change? Who do you rotate? Who's looking fresh? Who's looking fatigued? Because so many things can happen in this 30 minutes. If you get an early goal, you can sit back and see it out. If you concede an early goal, then you got to push the game. And if both teams have already used a lot of their substitutions, so not a whole lot of cards you can play now.
So we will have overtime between Charlotte and Seacoast United coming up in a moment. It's been very physical between the two teams. The first matchup earlier, it was Myrtle Beach versus the Long Island Rough Riders. The Rough Riders able to pull out the 2-0 victory, advancing to the championships. For those who are tuning in, Daniel Wall and head coach John Milleracci of Tormenta FC here for the Eastern Conference Championships. The semifinals tied 1-1 between Charlotte and Seacoast. We head into overtime. Next goal wins, and the winner will face Long Island. Will it be Charlotte or will it be Seacoast United?
Well, I don't think this is a sudden death overtime. I think both of these are, this is like a mini game. You're going to have 15 minutes and a quick halftime and 15 minutes. And as I said just a minute ago, I think both coaches have used some substitutions, so you don't have a whole lot, too many cards you can play at this minute to change the game. So really, it's about character and discipline, and sticking to your tactics, and you need your special players to make big plays now.
Well, you wonder who is going to be that special player for each team, because as physical as this game has been, we have seen both players, star players for each team, kind of go down with cramping. Danette Saki, who got the goal for the Phantoms, was cramping up toward the end of the game, and so is João Acosta, who had the goal for Charlotte.
Right. Well, it looks like João got some treatment. I don't think they're going to sub him yet, but they may. It just depends, because even though as a coach you're thinking you got to win the game in front of you, you also have the game tomorrow night in the back of your mind of, okay, I can't put everything out there to win this one tonight, and we lay an egg the next night. So this is a tough situation for both teams, but you've got two very good coaches with loads of experience in them. They've been here before. They know how to rotate their team. They know what's needed in the game, and I expect to see both teams come out with a clear game plan and a way of getting a goal.
Which coach will prevail to tomorrow? For Charlotte, Dave Dixon, third year as the head coach, third year in the PDL. The previous 2 years, they made it to the semifinals and lost. They don't want to have that repeat for the third year in a row. And as for Seacoast, head coach Ali Beal, his first year with the organization, spent the previous 6 years in Portland, Maine with the GPS Portland Phoenix, and he lost in the playing game last year 3-1 to the Ocean City Nor'easters. So a lot riding on this matchup, and the winner will advance to tomorrow night's championship game at 8 p.m. versus the Long Island Rough Riders.
Well, as a coach, it's important that you detach from the emotion right now and you just stick to what helps your team win the game. And it's very important that in the sense of that emotion, in the sense of that desire to win, that you make sure your team stays focused. And you almost have to play act as a coach. You can't let them see you seem jittery at all or overly excited where you're panicking. I think being calm and just promoting confidence that, hey, you're a good team. You've been here before. I know you can win this game. I believe in you. And then here's how we're going to do it.
Well, nonetheless, it's been great soccer all evening from
Absolutely.
the first game to the second game. Your observations, John?
Yeah, I think so. The first game, because of the heat, was real slow out of the gate. And like I said, it was almost like watching a game underwater for a little bit. And then the second half, it opened up and it showed itself to be a good game. And then this one, it's what I had hoped for. I had hoped there to be a little bit more end-to-end and teams taking some risks and chances, and it's been a very good game thus far.
Well, we are now back on the field as both teams making their way back. Be a 15-minute overtime period. And if we are still scoreless, we'll go to another 15-minute overtime period. And if it's still tied, then we will go to penalty kicks to determine a winner to advance to the championships tomorrow night.
Yeah, penalty kicks. As a coach, I don't think, and as a true fan, you don't ever want to see a game go to PKs. It is exciting, but both goalkeepers have shown themselves to be quite adept at stopping some chances, and it would be entertaining if that were to go.
Yeah, if it did go to penalty kicks, I have two tough questions to ask. One, who are you going to put out there to go up against Thor Hoffs and James Powell, and how are you going to try and to get past both goalkeepers?
Well, you prepare for it all beforehand, and that's why preparation is so important at this level. As a coach, you're not making that decision now. You made that decision 3 days ago. Okay, if we go to penalties, here are my 5, and they're ready to go.
We are officially underway. 15-minute overtime period to determine who will advance to the Eastern Conference Championships. Charlotte.
Charlotte's got right into the overtime period. Good possession. Guys moving forward. Looks like they've stuck with their 4-back. The 4-2-3-1 they switched to in the second half.
How did it look? As both teams switching sides again. Charlotte in the orange, Seacoast United in the Tar Heel blue. For those who are watching, overtime action between the two teams. Game 2 of the PDL Eastern Conference semifinals. That one will roll out.
Early corner kick here for, well,
Well, it looked like it was going to be a corner kick, but change of events there as it will be possession Seacoast.
Some folks are sharing their opinion on the matter on the field.
Well, this is a very emotional game. It's win or go home. And Seacoast doesn't want to go back to New Hampshire. They want to enjoy the Georgia Heat. Charlotte, they want to stay in representing the South Atlantic Division after the division champions, Myrtle Beach, losing in the earlier matchup 2-0 to the Long Island Rough Riders. Daniel Wall and head coach John Milleracey, along with the Georgia Southern Multimedia Development Center. And these camera operators and everyone have experienced some long games before. Seacoast trying to get a chance.
Oh my goodness. What a chance.
That was a close one.
At this stage of the game, when you're this fatigued, it's really difficult to create chances like that.
Here's another look. Almost.
He got all of it too.
Ricocheted off the top bar of the goalpost. Charlotte on the steal, trying to advance. Here's a look, shot, goal! Charlotte takes the lead.
Look at that.
João Acosta.
One clips off the bar. One goes in a matter of a minute. That play was one high, and what a pass to João. And he's a very dangerous attacker if he gets any kind of look.
João Acosta with his second goal of the evening. And now Charlotte has to play great defense for the next 10 to 12 minutes. They want to hold on to this lead and advance the championships. In the 4th minute of overtime.
Still a lot of time left. They got to get through this first overtime period, and they got a whole nother one left. So as you could just see, Seacoast almost went up. I think they got another chance or two in them.
Charlotte trying to get possession again, and they do. It's like 1-on-3. They're able to hold on to it. Charlotte may be looking for another one. A shot by Acosta. A little too high.
Joe's still fighting a cramp.
You can tell he's limping on that leg.
Anytime he tries to do something explosive, it's firing up on him. So now you got to think, what is Dave Dixon going to do? Does he want to leave him on, or does he want to rest him for tomorrow? Because you don't want to take him off and then Seacoast get a goal. Now you're 2-2, and your best striker's on the bench.
That
Bit of a chess match.
Still on the bench for Seacoast, was helped off earlier in the second half, was cramping very bad. The Phantoms need to tie this game up now. Acosta going. You can tell he's limping a little bit. Here's a chance for Charlotte. It rolls into the hands of Thorhoffs. A very intense semifinal matchup here at Art Russell Park in Statesboro, Georgia. It will stay here. Possession Eagles. And you may notice they probably let the clock run out a little bit. They're in no rush.
Yeah, but they still have the second period of overtime ahead of them. So you got to stay switched on. You got to keep making plays, connecting passes.
So it's a free kick.
Probably want to see Charlotte keep it on the ground here. It's a bit of a height advantage or disadvantage, but it looks like they're going to whip it in there anyway. Oh, there we go. It's a good decision.
Trying to do their best to play keep away, and it fails. Seacoast able to get it. That's Petter Backen. And now here come the Phantoms. See what they can do here. Trying to go up the middle.
Good piece of play from Seacoast. They're moving the ball well.
It's a long shot trying to get headed in, but Pyle will make his way over as it went over to the right. You have to give credit to both James Pyle and Thor Hoffs, both goalkeepers, having a tremendous night.
Well, they're going to be called on again. I think Seacoast has proven that they've got more chances in them. And I think they're going to have to start pushing the game, which is going to allow Charlotte to do what they do best and hit you in the break. Even though Charlotte has done a good job of moving the ball and creating some chances, but their most dangerous chances have been on the break. Here's a good pass of play for them.
Charlotte going to try to attack inside the 18, trying to go up the middle. Now on the outside, here's a shot, goes above the head of Hoffs.
So it was a good move from Dave Dixon's part to move Ryan up a little bit higher under their striker, Jow. He's caused Seacoast some significant problems.
Now in the 10th minute.
Oh, it's a mistake there.
Seacoast with a look. Inside, shot, right into the hands of Pyle.
A little fortunate there from Charlotte.
Seacoast had a chance up the middle, but good cover and save by Pyle. Another look for the Eagles. Seacoast trying to go up the middle again. Time to go on the outside. Audie Jepson. Back up inside to Garrett Lyle. The ball will head back to midfield. Another chance for the Eagles. And that's no whistle's going to be blown. And he is down. A member of the Eagles holding on to his knee. Meanwhile, play continues on the other side. Jepson trying to get past. Trying to go on the cross, setting up one of his teammates. Can't do so. Blocked and deflected. pass just off. And Charlotte able to
He's on.
retaliate. And here's the look.
It's a chance
All
to seal
alone,
it.
one-on-one. Can he get it? Gets it past. It's a
what
almost.
a
No. What a
play.
block. Great defense.
My goodness.
That could have been the final nail in the coffin.
Could have been. What a play.
Let's take another
Watch
look at
this.
this.
Watch him not give up on the
Dorhoff
play
went
here.
back inside. Great slide, and he collided with
hurts.
the goalpost.
You hear the coach from Seacoast saying, I use that, get it to lift us, because that's a huge play.
That is
Because that was
very-
probably game over.
That would have been a nail in the coffin. What a great save. A nice slide there by the defender for the Phantoms. We'll have a corner kick for Charlotte. So they'll have a second chance, but that could have been it. Almost similar to what we saw earlier.
Yep. Charlotte has done a great job with their depth. The guys that have come off the bench tonight have done quite well.
Oh, here's a look. Inside. Goes, and it goes
Good save.
off. Outside left. Two great looks. Two great stops.
So Charlotte's knocking on the door for that third here. The Seacoast can get to the break.
Utaya Mwape trying to put the Eagles up by 2. Another corner kick for the Eagles, and that one goes out of bounds. Last touched by Charlotte. So it will stay, or it will go to the Phantoms now. Minute and a half remaining here in the first overtime. Seacoast slowly making their way upfield. Good passing by Seacoast as it stays in. Here's the shot that goes over. Goes across field. In the final minute, Charlotte
It's a good play from Charlotte.
able to get in. They want to kick it as far away from.
Gel's being very smart. If you notice, he's not hanging out in between the two center backs. He's pulling himself wide and unbalanced and getting on the ball. It's pretty smart what he's doing.
Well, he has used a lot of energy in the game.
And it's halftime.
And
Of
that
overtime.
will end the first overtime period. So now we'll have a quick pause.
Back at it. Now you see Charlotte. They've gotten better as the game has gone on. To me, I think their passing connections have gotten better. Their ability to create chances has gotten better. I think they're starting to dominate the game on both sides of the ball. They're pressing the ball as a group. They're getting bodies forward. So I think they're in a good place to win this game right now. Seacoast is going to have to come out firing and find a way to create a chance to get them back in it.
A tremendous semifinal matchup so far. Started with Nanette Saki in the second half in the 52nd minute, getting a goal off of the header. Then in the 75th minute, Jao Acosta able to go up the middle for a goal to tie it up at 1 apiece. And then in the 4th minute of overtime, Acosta able to get another goal for his squad. And Charlotte is 15 minutes away from advancing to the PDL Championships tomorrow night. They're going to have, whoever wins, either team, they're going to have to recover quick. They're going to spend a lot of time recovering because they have to be right back on the field tomorrow.
That's going to be tough. Again, I see the Long Island coach, Flavio, taking notes on this game. And the longer this goes, the happier he's going to be. So overtime is exactly what you want if you're Long Island tomorrow. These teams have played 30 more minutes of soccer than you had to. They're going to be playing, well into past 11 o'clock. By the time they eat, recover, get to sleep, and probably close to 1. That's a tough turnaround.
So we'll take one break, and we'll be right back with the second half between Charlotte and Seacoast United.
Georgia's best and brightest choose Southern. Georgia Southern University offers an innovative, hands-on approach to learning that prepares you to succeed in the workplace and in life. Whether our students go on to become a Georgia Teacher of the Year, work as a Disney Imagineer, or conduct groundbreaking coastal research, Georgia Southern is the right choice. Choose Southern at georgiasouthern.edu.
We get you back to you.
Here we go. The storm is coming.
Tormenta attacking. Tormenta aggressive that time defensively, and it pays off. Up in the air, shot taken, deflected, and just to the right. Good chance, and it's an early goal. He puts this one in a good spot, and it's a goal.
Welcome to South Georgia.
And we begin the second overtime period between the Charlotte Eagles and the Seacoast United Phantoms. Daniel Wall and head coach John Milleracey of Tormenta FC here inside the booth. Charlotte with a 2-1 lead. Need to hold on for 15 more minutes, and they want to advance it tomorrow, but Seacoast is looking to tie this one up. To send it into penalty
Seacoast
kicks.
has come right out, trying to put the game in the attacking half and create some early chances. What the Eagles have to do is to not sit back too much. They can't just hang on and hang on. I know James has played well for them in goal, but Seacoast has shown that they can win games. And you need to continue to push the game if you're Charlotte and keep playing and not just try to hang back and defend. But again, I think the usage of Charlotte's bench has been superb in this game.
It was able to help them late in the game. They're down 1-0, trying to figure out what they needed to do. Brought in a couple of subs. And then João Acosta was able to lead his team back to first tying the game up and then taking the lead for the Eagles.
Well, Seacoast was fortunate not to be down 3-1 right there at the death of the first half. So let's see if that's given them some life and find a way here.
So you have to let the folks know, a reminder that Seacoast United had a playing game on Tuesday against Reading United AC. They won that game 3-1 just to get to Statesboro. Charlotte had a bye, even though they finished second in the South Atlantic Division. The winner of this game will meet the Long Island Rough Riders, who defeated the Myrtle Beach Mutiny 2-0. Seacoast trying to set things up the right way. Find a way to advance upfield without turning the ball over with minor casualties.
It's a good start from Seacoast. They're trying to move the ball.
It's thrown away.
There's a chance.
Wape on the near side, trying to head up. He's able to fake out a defender. There's the shot by Acosta, and it's another goal.
What a goal.
He gets the hat trick.
And a cramp.
And puts his team up 3-1. Here's another look.
If you look at the build-up prior to that, it was a great build-up. Mwape got around the flank, put a great ball in back stick. Ryan Williams was clever enough to lay the ball back off the header and tee him up.
3 goals for João Acosta. He has been the main man for the Charlotte Eagles. And he may have punched their ticket into tomorrow night. All things are not final. There's still 11 minutes or so left to go in the second overtime period. Seacoast is going to have to put everything they have left into these final minutes.
See, I'm not sure, I haven't looked, but I'm not sure how many substitutions Charlotte actually has left. Because now you're thinking about tomorrow. Now you're thinking, all right, who do I need to get out? What can I change? How can I conserve energy and just get out of here?
This has been a phenomenal evening here in Statesboro, Georgia. A lot of all goals have been scored either in the second half or in overtime. And the Eagles trying to get ahead again. Now on the far side, Seacoast. Trying to create some type of offense.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot here.
You have to wonder.
Charlotte's going to be very comfortable to just sit back and hit them on the break here.
You have to wonder how much gas Seacoast has left
What
in
a
the
ball.
tank. Here's another look for Charlotte. Saved inside the 18. Trying to go across. Able to get it back. Another player down for the Eagles. And that is Jovan Petrovic.
He's been
Slowly getting up.
quiet in this game, but very steady. He's sat in. There's a 6 or an 8, and done his job. Won some tackles, kept the ball, played simple. He's had a good night.
A hard-fought battle between these two teams. We will resume play. Charlotte could have a chance to make it 4-1 maybe. Shot off the post. And it's going to be headed in for
Look at
another
that.
goal.
Look at that.
Ashley Sabisi.
When it's your night, it's your night.
That's João Acosta again. Wow.
If you watch the replay, it just goes
Take
off.
another look.
Everybody switched off thinking it was out of bounds, and he just waited for it. Watch this.
Waited for his moment. Simple header. And looking in, that is
Too
definitely
easy.
João Acosta.
It is.
4
What a night
goals.
he's had. That's a poacher's goal. I mean, only strikers think that, hey, it could come back off the board. I could get a 4th. So well-deserved break. Guy just comes off the field there. 4 goals in his bag. I think that's a decent night.
Yeah, Acosta is definitely done for tonight. They're going to save him for tomorrow. He's going to have a long and well-deserved ice bath.
Let's hope so.
Following this game
Let's hope
at
so.
the hotel.
They need to be carrying his bags, his laundry. Carry
Everything.
him off the field for a while. They switched back to a 5-back here. They're clearly 4-1 up. Not much time left in the game. This game's over. So now it's just keeping people from getting hurt.
Well, one thing's for certain, we definitely know who our Powerade player of the match is. Number 19, João Acosta. With 4 goals, 3 of them scored in overtime.
Yeah, it's just big plays. As I said earlier, you need your players, your top players, to start making big plays in these games.
And we have a red card as Ivan Blaskic
That's too bad.
is out of the game.
So the wheels have fallen off, unfortunately, for Seacoast. They started the game very bright. Their coach has done a superb job with them this season. Charlotte scrapped their way back into this game. And what a night João's had.
The third time is most definitely a charm for the Charlotte Eagles. The first 2 seasons in the PDL, they won the South Atlantic Division, but were eliminated in the Eastern Conference semifinals. And Mwape trying to get a goal himself, and he may. Inside danger zone, but it goes high above the post.
Well, the best substitution in the game has been that young man right there. How do you say it? Mwape. He's caused all kinds of problems. And when you have a player that can run at you and come inside and be incisive, it just opens up space for a guy like João to just tap goals in. And
being able to set João up.
Yeah, man, he's been a fantastic substitution in this game.
Well, it looks like we have our 2 teams set, still waiting for the finish of this game. There's still about 5 minutes or so left. 4-1 Charlotte Eagles. Pyle going up for the save, and he's had a phenomenal night as well.
It's been very steady. It's what you want. He's had 2 or 3 big saves, been good on crosses, distribution's been good. He's had a very, very good night.
And you can't really blame him for the goal that was scored by Seacoast, because that was a great play by the Phantoms.
It was.
And a great defense by Pyle, just wasn't able to get the rebound.
This is a long time to be playing in this kind of humidity. This is going to be a big toll on Charlotte. So this is, it doesn't seem like a lot, but the other team has almost had 4 hours off now. They've been able to get a meal, they've been able to get a shower, they're in their beds, they're probably watching this online, They'll be able to start the routine a little bit fresher tomorrow. And Charlotte's going to have a long night recovering, getting some food. Hopefully Dave lets them sleep in a bit. But, they've been hot, man. They've won games they've had to towards the end. They've scrapped it out. This hasn't been an easy game for them, but they got better and better as the game went on. I've been very impressed, especially how they got hold of the game here and turned what seemed like a tight match into a rout, a 4-1.
And the championship game will be tomorrow night at 8 p.m., so both teams, Long Island and Charlotte, following this game, will have plenty of time to rest. Even though we are here late in Statesboro with this game, there's still going to be plenty of time for Charlotte to sleep in.
I think so. But they may be able to recover and feel pretty spry by kickoff tomorrow, but where it's really going to start, they're going to feel it in the second half tomorrow.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That first half may feel like the second half of this game, and the second half may feel like overtime.
It could.
So just the way we've seen guys have to hop off the field cramping.
But they'll figure it out
throughout the evening.
They're in a place right now, they're finding ways to win games. They've showed a lot of courage and class to get to this point in the game. And, again, you just rely on your players. Look at this, could be 5-1.
Well, it could be a 2-on-1 situation. They're going to go onto the inside. Inside the 18, here's a shot, deflected. Second chance deflected again.
That's great from Seacoast. Keep competing there. A lot of teams let that go. Go and concede 5-1. That shows a lot of character. Again, a guy that's just quietly had a superb game is number 5 for Charlotte, Joe Vaughn. Early in the game, he was a little unnoticed, but man, he's put in a great performance this evening.
He's making his presence felt here in overtime, and he made his presence felt in the second half as well. You're right, he was quiet in the first half. You didn't really see much of him.
He just sits in there, protects the center backs, 12-yard passes, 10-yard passes. He's done very, very well.
Well, there were 3 scenarios that could have happened for tomorrow's championship game. You could have seen 2 teams from the South Atlantic Division, 2 teams from the Northeastern Division, or having one of each. It looks like we're going to get the third.
Well, I think that's good. I think that's good for the league, and it's good parity. As I said earlier, you don't really, I mean, if Charlotte saw Myrtle Beach, it'd be the 3rd time they've played them this year. I would imagine it'll be the same if Seacoast saw Long Island, you know.
But Seacoast and Long Island have some business they need to finish, because in both games that they face each other, it resulted in 2-2 ties.
Right, right.
Of course, Myrtle Beach had the upper edge on Charlotte in both games this season. Well, this is going to be a great finals matchup tomorrow night. The Long Island Rough Riders, who finished second in the Northeastern Division.
You almost wonder if Myrtle Beach clinching it so early hurt them more than helped them. Because, I mean, essentially Charlotte's been playing, this is probably their 5th playoff game in their mind, because they had to get results in their last 4. Or we would have caught them, and maybe Nashville would have caught them. So they've been playing a playoff game for a while. Well-deserved win.
Well, they had the momentum. They had to win the last 3 games just to get to the postseason, and now they have a chance to win their first Eastern Conference championship. They finally make it to the finals. The 3rd time is a charm, so head coach Dave Dixon can be happy, and so can the GM Andrew Pierce, as the final score is 4-1 Charlotte Eagles over Seacoast United. The Powerade player of the game definitely goes to Jao Acosta with 4 goals in this contest, 3 of the 4 in overtime.
I think he earned it. I think, you know, he's knocking on the door in the first half, is unlucky not to get one, and he puts himself in really dangerous spots. I mean, obviously, he's got technique and pace and mobility, but man, he's intelligent. He put himself in really good places to make those finishes almost seem easy, and they weren't.
Who will be the 2017 Eastern Conference champions? Will it be the Charlotte Eagles? Will it be the Long Island Rough Riders? We will find out tomorrow night from the Georgia Southern Multimedia Development Center and head coach John Malaracy. I'm Daniel Wall. We will see you tomorrow night.